Inspirational Creatives, episode 203. Welcome to Inspirational Creatives. I'm your host, Rob Lawrence. Join me every Friday as I chat with successful artists, producers, and creative entrepreneurs who share powerful stories and strategies. They can help you to create the life that you want. Listen each week as these inspirational creatives show you how to take your creativity to the next level. You'll learn how to create a sustainable business that inspires others and gives you the financial freedom and lifestyle that you want. Thanks for listening. Make sure you sign up at inspirationalcreatives.com to get free exclusive bonus material. And now, on with the show. Rob here, and a very warm welcome to 30 days of daily inspiration on the Inspirational Creatives podcast. Each day for the next 30 days, I'll be sharing with you an idea, a piece of inspiration, an action, or a piece of wisdom that I feel will help you to expand into more abundance, joy, creativity, and success in your life. Today is Monday and it's episode 203, and today, in the next few minutes, we're going to explore how to overcome overwhelm. Now, overwhelm is a big subject, but it needn't be overwhelming. Because I've reached out to a number of folks that I believe are experts in overcoming overwhelm. And if you'd like to hear more about how they can help you, stay tuned to the end of this episode and I'll share some more resources and links with you. Today, I'm going to take you back to almost 3 years ago, to when this podcast series first began, and I spoke to my dear friend and life transformation expert, Jana Schuberth. In episode 10, which was a short action episode, Jana revealed to me her tips and ideas on how to overcome overwhelm. So in episode 10 of Inspirational Creatives, I asked Jana what her top tip was for overcoming overwhelm.
Breathe. To breathe. You know, it's a very, very busy period of my life right now in terms of work. And so there are absolutely times when we feel overwhelmed. One distinction that I want to make clear straight from the outset is no matter how much is actually happening on the outside, whether or not I feel overwhelmed is entirely dependent on the interpretation and meaning that I give to the circumstance. It will be the meaning that I give to this day that will determine my experience. So I think that's always one thing to be very aware of, because otherwise it's too easy to become a victim of your own creation.
Don't become a victim of your own creation. What meaning are you giving to your world today? I love that how in the last episode, when we were talking about how to transform fear into excitement, it was all about coming back to the breath and breathing. And here it is again. How do we overcome overwhelm? It's about breathing. In episode 10, Jana also shared this piece of wisdom.
When I get to feeling overwhelmed, I first have to check in with what are my thoughts that are creating that sense of overwhelm, because it's likely to be beliefs that are not in support of feeling free or feeling relaxed. Oh, I don't want to be doing this, or this is going to be such a long day. I just need time for myself, or I don't want to be doing this, or there'll be thoughts that I have so much to do, especially anything that starts with, but I should do or I have to, will create that sense. And so just taking the step and step away from my own thoughts and really looking critically as to whether or not that's true. And in the end, it doesn't even matter if they're true or not. I think what matters the most is whether they generate the feeling that I want or not. Say, for example, today with having a really busy day, speaking to you, I can get really bogged down about what the day requires of me in terms of attention and focus, or I can look at the greenery that I'm surrounded by. I'm currently in Somerset at a friend's house, where it's just one of the most beautiful places on earth, I'm sure. And I can be appreciative of that, and I can be present with my clients or my partners in conversation that I'm speaking to during the day, and really, really focus on them in that moment. Because I think we cannot be overwhelmed possibly ever if we're entirely in the present moment. The overwhelm only comes from future tripping or being in the past, what we should or should have done. I think it's a lot of checking in, breathing, taking time away, making a cup of tea, sitting down, being with myself, even if it's just for 5 minutes. When we take time for ourselves, we think that that's not work, and therefore it's not productive time. But actually, it's those times that allow to re-energize, that are probably more important than the time we spend on an email or on a blog post or with a client.
So if the first step is to breathe, and the second step is to reevaluate what meaning you are giving to this day, The third one is to make sure that you are giving to yourself. Make sure you give yourself the time and nourishment that your soul craves in order to be great at giving to others. Jana claims that time giving to ourselves is time well spent. In fact, it could be the most important way that you spend your time. I've certainly found that in my experience, the more time I give to myself, the more I can give to others, the more effective I am in everything that I do, simply because I'm coming from a place that feels centered and not overwhelmed. Now, I promised you some more resources on how to tackle overwhelm, and I've got a few for you here right now. You might want to grab a notepad or your favourite writing app to make a few notes. I've got quite a few for you here. Or if you'd prefer, you can head on over to inspirationalcreatives.com/episodes and do a search on that page for the word overwhelm, and you'll find these same resources. So in episode 10, you can hear more of what Jana had to say about overwhelm beyond the clips that you heard just here. In episode 16, PR expert and my friend Ariel Hyatt talks about how to deal with social media overwhelm. In episode 70, Meg Warden shares her wisdom on how to reduce overwhelm, overthinking and comparing ourselves to others. In episode 96, Kevin Cruz shares his tips on how to overcome email overwhelm. In episode 122, you can learn how to overcome creative overwhelm with Amanda Cook. In episode 124, Paula Schramm shares with us powerful steps towards deeper inspiration, clarity and focus when feeling anxious, stuck and overwhelmed. And finally, my very good friend Shakya Kumara shares his tips on how you can overcome overwhelm with photography and brief mindfulness. Now, I can't help but feel I've overwhelmed you with resources there, which is quite ironic. I hope I haven't. And hopefully one of those resources will stand out for you today. And that's something more you can listen to help to take your life to the next level. Let me know how these 3 tips work for you today. Send me an email at rob@inspirationalcreatives.com and put daily inspiration into the subject so I can spot it. I look forward to catching up with you again tomorrow for another day of daily inspiration on the Inspirational Creatives podcast. Thanks for listening. Nothing beats the stories and advice of an expert to help you raise your creative game. I would love to know what you thought about today's episode, so don't forget to subscribe in iTunes where you can rate and review the show. If you like this episode, I invite you to share it on Facebook or Twitter with the one person you know who will benefit from the wisdom shared here today. You can find the show notes on inspirationalcreatives.com/podcast. If you have a burning question or a great idea for a guest, head on over to inspirationalcreatives.com/contact, where you can connect with me there.